Berserk has apostles, and thus we must rank them. Some quick guidelines before we start though. We're rating them on both human and apostle form. S tier means unbeatable design on all accounts. A tier means very, very good design on all accounts. B means real good design on at least one account, and okay design on another account. C means serviceable design on one or two accounts. D means it sucks. It's a tier list. Let's begin. We'll start with the first apostle we ever see, Ganishka. Ganishka is a cloud and or a bearded, spiky-toothed man. I love his design from the moment I saw him. Apostle form is a little bleh when compared to others, but I think his human form more than makes up for it. His ultimate world tree form is where it gets interesting, but I feel it doesn't represent his initial apostle nature, so Ganishka will be given a B tier. Next up is Snake Apostle, Snake Lord if you will. Honestly, this guy's base form is pretty iconic. Snake armor in human form is a great look to me, and if he had stayed that way, no transformation, he'd be an A tier apostle, easy. But as we all know, apostles become monsters when convenient for them, and this monster form is a little bit uninspired. You could argue that, well, of course they both look like snakes, but to me, I feel more could have been done. Out of armor, he's a creepy looking dude. Like I said, base form all around pretty good, but apostle form ruins it. Low B tier. Borkhoff. Borkhoff is a favorite of mine. He's the guy who chomps Berk's arm off. Well, helped Berserk chop his own arm off, rather. We've only seen the armor of his human form, but his apostle form is simple, yet effective. We see him again in an apostle tournament type gathering, and he doesn't let down there either. He reminds me of the Imprisoned from Skyward Sword, and I love that guy. Borkhoff is B tier. Next we have Egg of the Perfect World. Egg Apostle for the lame man. This apostle's creep factor is through the roof. Taking after one of the most iconic things in the Berserk world, the Bayolet, his design is all too fitting. It somehow makes Behelits even creepier retroactively. So I'd say, job well done, Egg Apostle, but B tier. Grunbeld. Oh, Grunbeld. When you first showed up, I was hype as all heck. Giant, angry-looking, sharp-teethed, red-haired giant with a giant shield and a larger-than-normal hammer? Oh, and his shield can spit fire or something? Nice. But then he just turns into a big crystal dragon. Don't get me wrong, the dragon is cool, being unbreakable, crystal and all, but it doesn't live up to his human/giant form's potential. High B-tier apostle. Maybe low A tier because his base form is so danged cool, and also all we've had are B tiers so far. We'll see. Irvine. This dude makes me go, wow, every time I see him. First off, he seems blind, yet is an archer. Come again? That's the most epic thing I've ever heard. His getup is great and reminds me of Bloodborne or Robin Hood or something. No armor, and his bow has a freaking eye on it. Also, he seems like a nice and chill dude most of the time. Makes me want to learn more about him. Back in the day, I started reading Berserk and for some reason wanted to spoil myself, so I skipped to a chapter somewhere in the 300s, and I saw this. I was like, what? What is this thing? His apostle form is just so freaking weird, yet is absolutely perfect given his base form. His bow and himself fuse into the reverse centaur wolf type bow thing. Like the beast is a bow? What? S tier apostle. Easy. It makes no sense, yet makes all the sense in the world. Berserk apostles are supposed to either be the weirdest thing you've ever seen or the coolest thing you've ever seen. And for this, it might be both. Like, is the beast part his you-know-what? Or is his human-looking part just the beast's tail? But then you look and notice the beast/human part also has a tail. So, great job, Mira. Just extremely well done. Okay, next is Locus. Locus. I was unsure about you when you first appeared. Some long-haired gothic bad boy wannabe. But then I warmed up. Very stoic man. Appears to be entirely human when not in apostle form. How the F is that possible, I wonder? It's a cool trait. It's like he's so refined that he only shows his apostle nature when he chooses to. Yet, somehow seems less human to me than Zod or Irvine. He kind of has that Griffith vibe of being more than human. It's a strange but effective aura. So yeah, that's his vibe. Cool vibe, but how about his apostle form? It's epic. Another strange and weird apostle form. One that fits Locus's base form so absolutely superbly. Sleek, shiny, chromy, alien. Crescent shapes all over, tying in with that moon motif thing. Locus is S tier. Lower S than Irvine, but S all the same. Next is Roxious. Roxious is slinky and neat. He's just a cloth with a mask. Several masks, and I dig that. He fills the niche of shapeless apostles, and I appreciate that about him. A tier. Going back in time, we have Rosine. She's one of those apostles that looks like an apostle even when she's not in apostle form. But that base design is very clean. She looks like a bug elf, and is weird too because she kind of has a slightly more apostolish base form as well, you know, with her eyes situation. Anyway, both base forms are cool. I'm not a huge fan of bugs, but I'll try to be subjective with her apostle form. No wait, objective. It's like a killer moth type thing. That curled up stinger thing is cool. How she's kind of tucked under the mothy cloak is also really cool. I think it's very, very effective. And since her base form is so iconic to me, she's an A tier apostle. Okay, next is a character that I still draw inspiration from to this day. An apostle so apostle that I judge all other apostles off this one apostle. Slug count. I honestly love Slug count. Big ol' round boy that morphs into a slug count? With the wiener silhouette, what more could you ask for? It's an iconic early apostle design that I think really paves the way for Berserk's future style. I'm not joking either. It's a good design. Better than Snake Apostle, that's for sure. A tier. Okay, and then we come to Female Apostle. So iconic that she wasn't even given a name. Yet is the literal first character we see in all of Berserk. Besides Butts, of course. Her base form is a human woman. She's similar to Locus in that way, but with none of the flair. She's a girl. Wow. And unfortunately, her apostle form doesn't fix much. She kind of becomes xenomorphy, kinda, but her design is all over the place. Maybe you like it, but I think it's lazy. D tier. Next up, we have the Dog Apostle. His human form is like a stumpy little man baby. Kinda neat in my book. I didn't expect too much from this guy, given he only existed for guts to cleave through with his newly obtained Dragon Killer. His base form is okay, and his beast form is okay. What more do you want from me? C tier. Okay, next is Wyald. What a sick fricker. Frick this dude. That said, nice design. This dude is the most psychotic apostle we'll probably ever see. He's textbook bloodthirsty, boink-hungry apostle, and he is king of unsettling Berserk moments. His base form is just ugh. If I saw this guy on the street, I'd know something fricked was coming my way. If he looked at me, I'd run. Him and the Count's base form do a great job of looking like kind of normal people, but with just a twist of dread that makes you question whether or not they're truly human. It's so effective. And his apostle form, while a little bit busy, is great as well. 3 eyes, big mouth, and tongue right where a pee-pee might be. I wonder if that was intentional. Yeah, great stuff. A tier. Okay, moving on to the least known apostle in all of Berserk. Zod and Immortal. Zod is, well, just great. Imposing, obviously inhuman man, but with a touch of humanity. Human form is a great parallel to Guts-chan. Spikier hair, more monstrous face, buffer, taller, but still very Guts reminiscent. Is that maybe because Zod is... No, Zod can't be Guts' dad. Where things get really great for Zod is in his apostle form. He sprouts horns, grows hair, grows hooves and a tail, and sometimes wings. If you hate this design, then you aren't a true Berserk. And them's just the facts. I especially like Zod after he loses a horn, and his other horn grows larger to compensate. Somehow Miura evolves Zod's design even when he was fine as is. Miura found a way to make him look even cooler. Look at this guy's face and tell me he isn't an S-tier apostle material. As for actually lesser known apostles like Balzac, we'll go through them real quick. Balzac, C tier. Vlad Tepes, non-canon, C tier. Worst count. Charles, C tier. I'm not really gonna go over the super minor ones, but a few standouts are Chicken Apostle, C tier. Weird Judo Killer Apostle, B tier. Well, nice job, Judo Killer Apostle. Snail Apostle, B tier. Nice job, but personally, I'm a bigger fan of Frog Apostle, A tier. And last but not least, triple S tier. Shana. Wait, he's not an apostle? Go! As for Ganishka World Tree Ganishka, I'd give that entire package an A, I guess. It's weird and not the norm, so I didn't know exactly where to put it. It's a cool story moment though, so Ganishka gets 2 separate spots on the list. And that was a subjective list of which apostles I think are designed the best, but isn't necessarily indicative of my favorites. My top 3 favorite apostles are Irvine, Borkhoff, yes, Borkhoff, and last but not least, wait, go! Okay, I guess Zod then? I mean, what can I say? I'm a normie Berserk fan through and through. Took me a month and a half to make this video. See ya.